Welcome back. Time is 8:16. DOGE cannot dodge the Freedom of Information Act. At least that's a ruling handed down by a federal judge. The move rejects the Trump administration's argument that DOGE does not have to respond to public records requests. The judge found DOGE operates independently of the president, making it subject to the open records law. Several lawsuits have been filed concerning DOGE's access to records at federal agencies. The judge told DOGE to begin rolling out its records, but not immediately.
Man, my head hurts going back and forth with all this. Thankfully, our legal expert, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes is here. All right, so as we talk about DOGE, as we talk about Freedom of Information Act, I feel like there's a lot of confusion because some people aren't quite sure where Elon Musk resides with his authority, because is he under the chief executive of the president's office? And so there's some skirting of the maybe code of ethics and what has happened. And I think that's where a lot of people are pointing fingers.
I think the biggest thing is we're talking about transparency, and that's what we're supposed to be talking about, right? Transparency. When DOGE first kicked off, it was how do we ensure that the government is efficient and transparent. So DOGE created this website that shows you everything that they're cutting, and that was their attempt to be extremely transparent, except for when you were asking them to show behind the curtain of exactly what was happening. And then they were rejecting every Freedom of Information Act request, and they weren't even rejecting it because they just didn't want to give it to them. They were saying, we don't have to give it to you because we're not authorized and we're not in that bracket, as you mentioned in the opening, because we're under the office of the executive of the president. We don't fall under the FOIA Act. However, this court has said, well, actually, you do. And the question that the court had to answer is, are they an agency? That's the main question. When you spearheaded this up, you have to look back. I've mentioned this a couple times before. Yes, the name of it is DOGE, but if you look back to the original, it was President Obama started this, and it started as an agency. And it was a way to get the government to have more interaction with, the internet, and then ensuring that the internet could be utilized for a more efficient manner, not tearing apart and trying to dismantle government agencies and break down bureaucracies, which DOGE is attempting to do now. But it started as an agency. And if it was an agency then, it's still an agency now. The judge says you guys are extremely independent. You have, it seems like, unlimited power aside from the president to do a number of things that are outside of the scope that would fall right into the scope of an agency. So if you are an agency, you are clearly subject to a FOIA request. And the judge wanted them to understand that FOIA request has to be responded to and it has to be answered.
So play devil's advocate, if we can here, Khalif, because Elon Musk, because he is the head, he isn't the head, he's in an advisory role. But if he falls into that advisory role, then he gets that exemption from FOIA. So how can he work that advisory role to say, wait a minute, I'm exempt?
And I think that's what they're attempting to do. I mean, let's be clear. There are a lot of smart folks in the room trying to figure out, this is what I want to do. How do you get me there legally? And sometimes you'll have clients that'll say that to you. And my first thing is, are you asking me to try to figure out how to break the law? Because I'm not going to do that. But if you're asking me, how can I ensure that you can operate and work within the law? That's a different question. And I think that's what a lot of these folks in the room are doing with the Trump administration. There are extremely smart folks, even with the Project 2025. You have these folks who are just think tank. That's all they're doing is thinking of ways that we can figure out how to apply the law to what I want to do. So in this situation with Elon Musk, they've been extremely clear from the very beginning. He's had a lot of interaction with DOGE, but he's not in charge. He's not running it. There's someone else that's running it. This random woman that comes out of nowhere, she's in charge of running it. So now that gives him this, isolation where he's not subject to it himself. But the communication within DOGE is still open to that freedom of information. So that's all emails. That's all text messages. That's any communication that's done on a government computer is now subject to a Freedom of Information Act. Also, the judge said, preserve it. What does that mean? Well, there's a lawsuit pending, so you just can't throw away documents. Once you get this notice that I'm going to bring a lawsuit, there's a big red flag. There should be an email that says, don't delete anything. And that's what the judge wanted to remind these guys. Because you're not seasoned government employees, because you don't know what this means, don't hit delete, because you have a preservation now requirement to not delete anything.
Ooh, man. All right, here we go. All right, thank you, Khalif. Appreciate that. Again, we're going to have you in another 20 minutes on another topic. So many things happening so quickly.